You know, and you as a dirty right-winger like me should be silenced. Silence! We have has to deal with you. I mean, that's the way it feels, because it's only them on the left, them in the government. Those are the people that can decide what's true and what's not, because they have this brand new grand plan at the United Nations to create an Internet of Trust a department, I guess. You know, they'll goose step right into your computer, apparently. I mean, what do you see here, Professor?
Well, it's actually pretty scary, Steve, because, you know, if you're conservative, if you're a person of faith, you better watch out, because the UN has now published their guidelines for managing, you know, content. And of course, they talk about how we want to preserve freedom of speech, but what it really is just the opposite. This agency has, you know, put together a plan to literally weaponize the law to regulate social media, to regulate, you know, what you do on your radio program if you decide to put it online. And so they're all about censoring what the UN views as, you know, their version of hate speech, their version of false information, their version of conspiracy theories.
Right.
You know,
now, let's get into something you pointed out to me. This is really important for people to understand, something you pointed out to me, the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution. If treaties are ratified in this country, which takes 2/3 of the Senate, by the way. This cannot be done by executive order. This cannot be done by fiat. This has to be done by consent of 2/3 of senators. A lot of crazy things could happen, because if treaties are ratified, they have the same power as the Constitution. They would overrule anything happening in Texas or Florida or other free states. That's true of free speech. It's true of the United Nations Treaty on Small Arms that would basically destroy the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution if it was ever to. And by the way, that treaty has been sitting on the desk, on the shelf, collecting dust for a number of years now. All it takes is a radical left-leaning Senate, and your Second Amendment will be gone. Your First Amendment will be gone. I'm not wrong about this, am I?
Not at all. Let me add to that, you know, the rights of the child, which would literally take away all the rights of parents in this country, and completely, you know, overturn the idea that a parent is in the best place to control and direct the upbringing of the child. And now right here with regard to, you know, managing what's on a digital platform, what kind of content we actually get to hear. If they can put this through, you know, a treaty, then it becomes what's called the supreme law of the land. It's treated just like, you know, a congressional act or the Constitution. And if somebody in Florida or Texas, for example, has, you know, a constitutional provision that protects freedom of speech, that doesn't matter anymore, because now you've got something that usurps it. You've got this, you know, treaty that is part of the supreme law of the land. You know, let's not, you know, be naive. The current administration has already tried to implement a lot of these things through executive orders and through, you know, different executive actions. And so, you know, but those things can be undone. Once you have a treaty, you know, that's a very, very different thing. And now you've gone right to the heart of the American people's ability to participate in the marketplace of ideas, if you happen to be, you know, religious, or if you happen to be conservative. It's just astounding to me as I read this document. You know, the examples they use when they're talking about the importance of promoting freedom of expression are all far, you know, left-wing leftist ideas like gender identity, and anytime they're talking about things that's, you know, misinformation, it's always has something to do about, you know, medical technology or elections or something like that. And so, you know, it's a scary time we live in, but it's a time where we need to be aware as citizens, and we need to be aware as citizens and be willing to stand up to truth.